It's an annual meeting that I've fallen in love with over time. It's not a scientifically driven meeting in the respect that we're not hitting big scientific discoveries necessarily. That's not really the focus. This is a group of people, mostly in the United States, who take care of MS patients for a living. The centers around the country. And it's really the clinicians coming together, doctors, nurse practitioners, physical therapists, social workers, all different aspects of care. And we're all coming together and kind of talking about how we do that and sharing concepts and ideas. Now there's also some exciting data, yes, but the feeling of the meeting is a bit different. And it's something that I really have grown to look forward to each year. I think there's two things that I really like. On a personal note, we've been able to bring a lot of our team members. And so it's always fun to help someone experience what it's like to be involved in a larger community of MS treaters. And so on a personal level, I'm very excited about that. From a data standpoint, we're getting some follow-up data. So, I've been very excited about alemtuzumab of recent. And I was excited to look at some of the 5-year follow-up data that's now being presented in poster format. And there's actually a platform presentation tomorrow. And the take-home is mind-numbingly cool. I don't know if I can say that or not, but it's really special. So what we're seeing at 5 years is a durable effect. So this is a drug, you give it to them up front, and then a year later you give it to them again, and then you never give it to them again unless they have disease activity. And so we're now looking 5 years out, where 67% of patients have never been retreated. And what we're seeing at 5 years, and the posters speak to this, brain atrophy slows down and continues to slow down. Disability decreases and stays low. And we're actually looking at 5-year markers of sustained reduction in disability, or confirmed reduction in disability. Did you have a period of 6 months where you had gotten better? And patients with high percentages, in some cases, are doing this. And so that's really very special. And I think in keeping with the meeting, it's special because it mirrors what I'm seeing back home. And it's very approachable information. I think that we have to be honest with each other and transparent. We know what we know. We know that for a 5-year experience, we have safety that is consistent. The problems are the problems, and they didn't get worse or better. Okay. We know that for efficacy, we're seeing really awesome things for a period of 5 years. And we don't know what happens beyond that. Okay. But we're going to find out. And what I tell patients is, fortunately for you, there's people that are 5 years ahead of you. So for you as an individual, you're going to have that as we go forward. As an MS treater, I'm riding that wave with my patients as we move forward. And the unknown can be scary, but you know what's scarier? Is undertreated MS. Undertreated MS is a much scarier concept than the unknown of this drug's effect. And so, in the risk-benefit of what do we do, it's a pretty easy answer. The landscape's changed a lot. If you focus on therapeutics, we've had new drugs join the armamentarium just this week. The data that was presented at ECTRIMS looking at ocrelizumab is very exciting, and there's been a lot of excitement building as we anticipate an approval. And so the field is really evolving. Last time we spoke about primary progressive MS trial and how there was a positive result. And subsequent to that, we've learned in the subgroup analyses that it really held true, even when you spliced it and diced it, which is special. The tenor in the clinic is dramatically different. For the very first time, progressive patients have a sense of hope. Something for me. What can I have? And so that's very special. And so I think that sentiment, that sort of sense of hope that we're really starting to be able to tackle this disease is growing. The other thing that I think was talked about this meeting that I think is very special is stem cell transplant. Stem cell transplant has been slow to be discussed, or it's only in pockets of the United States, but it's starting to collect attention. And I think the answer, if you will, is that we now are starting to touch highly effective therapies. And we are now starting to change the bar. And so that's awesome. As opposed to going home at night and saying, Maxwell, Daddy made someone get worse slower. There's no pride in my voice. There's nothing special or good about that, quite frankly. And that was the state of affairs. That's no longer the state of affairs. Now I can say, Daddy helped someone not get worse. Daddy saw someone get better in some rare cases. And so this is not just Aaron being excited, this is a group of people who are starting to be able to move the needle. And I think you can feel it here. It's a really, really important point. How does a clinician stay current in a field? How does a clinician learn new information? I'll tell you that the answer is it takes a lot of effort, and that's a problem because we're stretched pretty thin. I read daily about multiple sclerosis. I have to in order to stay current. And to not do that, I couldn't do my job well. But it's a lot of work. And things like meetings like this help that, right? So you can come and take a couple days out of your practice and get a bolus of information. You know, just kind of drive it, and that's really useful. And so this is one of the ways that we stay current. A lot of posters. Have I seen them all? No, I can't get to all of them. It's not possible. Thank goodness I can review the abstracts afterwards. And I think that's a very, very important thing that we are obligated to do. This new drug, daclizumab, has now been launched, and I was not involved in the clinical trials. I'm familiar with the data, but I've never used the drug before. I have to review the data again, because as an MSologist, I need to understand it, and I need to try to figure out where it's appropriate. I don't know that answer yet, but the onerous task is on me. I have to do that, and so that's what I'm going to be working on. I have a vision for what I hope happens in MS, and I don't know if it's going to be there in 5 or 6 years, but I think it'll be there before I'm out of this game. The vision for MS is to make it like diabetes. So diabetes used to kill people. You would develop renal failure and you'd pass. And now you don't even know your buddy has diabetes unless you eat cake with him, and then he pulls out his little insulin pen and gives him, he says, "What are you doing, man?" So, "I have diabetes." "You do?" Diabetes is a condition where you gotta do some stuff. I mean, you have to be adherent to your therapies, and there are going to be bumps in the road, but played properly, diabetes is annoying. It no longer kills you. I'm very, very hopeful, more than I've ever been in my entire career, that we're moving in that direction. We're starting to scratch the surface on a glimpse of what that might look like. And so I can't wait to go to ECTRIMS, and I can't wait to come back to New Orleans to this meeting next year, because this community is a vibrant, exciting community, and we're moving this forward. And I think that's where we're going to end up. Now, 5 years, I don't know. Please don't hold me to that, but that's my vision, and I think that we're going to get there.